Fishing is something that all of our staff and customers enjoy to the fullest extent. The memories made on the ice or in the boat can be cherished forever. We love engaging with our customers and providing the best shopping experience around. Here's Shane and his son Aiden doing what they love.
So I can remember fishing for as early on as the memories that I have as a kid growing up. 100% my mom and dad got me into fishing. Some of my best memories as a kid would be my parents picking me up at school before the bus even showed up. I'd walk out to catch the bus, and there's mom and dad with the boat hooked up, the little 16-foot tinner and the 18-horse Merc, right? And we'd go off into some little backwater lake and catch a bunch of walleyes. That's really where my love for the outdoors grew from, spending time in the outdoors with mom and dad. And 110%, it is so important for me to pass on that outdoor lifestyle to my son. So it's our opportunity to really disconnect from the rest of the world. For as cliche as it sounds, we live in a very busy, hectic world. We live in Winnipeg. I didn't grow up in Winnipeg. I'm a small town guy, and this is my opportunity to get away from the cell phone, get away from everything, and really connect with my son and try to pass on some of the things that my parents taught me out in the lake and fishing and all that. At times, this is the only time I really get a chance to speak with him away from everyone else and figure out, really learn what's going on with him, what's going on with school, with hockey, all the rest of it. We're out here fishing, but at the end of the day, sometimes fishing is really just an excuse to spend time together outside, and that translates not only into ice fishing, but open water fishing, bear hunting, waterfowl hunting. I mean, we do mushroom picking in the springtime. We honestly do pretty much everything together, and I wouldn't have it any other way. The only way that it can be better is if I have my mom and dad or my wife out with us. It's really is a family affair for me. That's just the way that I was raised, and it's just the values that I was brought up with. It's really important. Like, the bonding aspect is obviously very important. Being engaged and active in his life and getting to know some of the things that are happening, whether it be through school or sport or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, like, when we have a really successful day, it's the teamwork. Like, we really play off of each other and we work together, and he's at an age now where he's better with electronics than I am. So, like, we sit there and we fish side by side, and we'll sometimes it's some of the tag team efforts, he'll call one in and then I'll hang it, or it'll be the other way around, and the high fives. And I mean, we've had more laughs and high fives and out on this lake in particular the last couple of years because of COVID. It really forced us to stay in the province. Historically, I've done a lot of my fishing and hunting back home in northwestern Ontario, but with COVID and the lockdown, having to stay in Manitoba, it really opened my eyes to what's available in our own backyard. This is an absolute world-class fishery that, embarrassingly, it took me 15 years of living in Manitoba to actually come out here and catch one. And it's my drug. It's our drug. Like, the alarm went off at 4:30 this morning. I give him one tap on the shoulder and he's up out of bed and he's getting ready. I mean, it's something that we live for, and I think it's all the more special that we're doing it together. I prefer to fish Lake Winnipeg on snowmobile, and the main reason for that is just mobility. My son and I, we fish off of a Bearcat with a 2-up seat, and we pull our otter behind us. And again, the whole reason for that is mobility. Lake Winnipeg is basically a structureless basin, so you really gotta follow the fish and be prepared to move multiple times throughout a day to maximize success on the ice. We'll pick a spot that we've had success in the area before. First thing we do, make our stop, and we have a system in place where my son, he'll jump off with the auger and drill a pilot hole. And while he's doing that, I'm getting the live scope out, getting it powered on, and the minute that he punches through, I'll drop the live scope down the hole. So we might leapfrog a couple times, get in front of a school if we see a school moving on the live scope, and try and position ourselves ahead of those fish and intercept them when they come through. And then once we get into an area where we're confident that that's where we want to be, well, then it's game on. We drill between 4 and 10 holes, depending on how many fish we're seeing and what kind of an area they're spread out. So if we're seeing fish 30, 40 feet all scattered and they're all moving all around the direction that we're in, we'll probably drill a grid pattern so that we can hop around and try and make contact with those fish as they're coming through an area. First lure that I drop down is definitely an element custom bait of some variety. Aside from the rattle baits and the element custom baits, I'll always have some spoons tied on, and then a couple small tungsten jigs for a dead stick that I'll hook either a salted minnow or a live minnow on. We'll fish an area, and if we sit there for 20 minutes and we're not seeing fish come through, then that's when it's important to take that mental note as to what direction those fish have been moving throughout the course of the morning, and try and get ahead of those schools, try and intercept them as they're coming through.